You found my name in the rain on the porch. I kept it small like a pin in a glove. Your shadow leaned on the apple crate step, and the clock in the hall would not answer us. Stay a little while, stay a little near. Your breath on my cheek like a borrowed fear. Dance me slow, paper moon lace. Hold my hand in a stranger place. Hold my hand, sweet and still we could disappear. Dance me slow and leave me here. Your collar was white, but your eyes were bold. Like a key in a jar with a secret hold. I heard the boards count softly our feet, and the room grew thin as a candle leaf. Stay a little while, stay a little near. Your breath on my cheek like a borrowed fear. Dance me slow, paper moon lace. Hold my hand in a stranger place. Hold my hand, sweet and still we could disappear. Dance me slow and leave me here.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's good to see you. I'm glad everybody made it back. I was worried. I was thinking, maybe I should have just kept streaming. That's probably what a professional would do, but a professional also knows when to say when. You know what I mean? And I have to tell you guys, and don't worry, we're not missing anything. I have the stream pulled up on the other screen. They're not back yet from lunch. I mean, let's be honest, it's only 2:07 there. That's not late at all. Even though they said we'll be in recess until 2:00, lies. Anywho, I must confess that I could have stayed live. I could have pulled up articles and all the things, but this is not for me personally. This is not the case for that. Like all those articles are going to go over is stuff that you guys already know. It's backstory, stuff like that. But I just feel like, and there's a lot of details about the crime. And shut up. There's a lot of, here's the thing. The details are bad, obviously. I mean, we wouldn't be here if they were good. It's a murder trial and the people that were murdered were 3 children. It's going to be bad. But this is not a question of who did it. So in my opinion, the way that I want to cover this is I don't want to go over those details. I don't think it's necessary. That's not what the jury is. I mean, the jury is going to have to, the state does have the burden. They do have to prove that she murdered the children, but they have to really, what they have to do is prove that she was in her right mind when she did it. And, premeditation doesn't have like a fixed time. It can, the minute she, especially as a nurse, put anything around those children's necks, that was it. That was all the premeditation it took. That's how, undefined premeditated is. So that's really what they have to answer. And I just don't know that like me going over that stuff is going to really answer that for us. I feel like what we really need to hear from are the experts, the people who saw her immediately, who evaluated her, all that kind of stuff. I am curious about this, Cray Cray. Cray Cray says, I want to know what she thinks about Andrea Yates. All right, they're entering the courtroom. I'm just going to pause it briefly because it's just a bunch of, did you speak to anybody, blah, blah, blah. Because what I really want to do is ask you guys. What I really want to talk about is this. Except Surviving the Survivor lawyer got booted out of the courthouse for live streaming. And trying to figure out. So what happened? He went live in the court hallway. Is that what happened? So he's now not allowed to come back in the courtroom. Did I say it right? See, Surviving the Survivor. Did I say that right? Sometimes there used to be a channel called Seeking the Truth with Dave. Sometimes I get those mixed up. Oh, escorted out. Wow. All right. Interesting. All right, here we go.
All parties are present, including the defendant. The jury is not present at this time.
All right. And counsel, could I just see you in regards to the scheduling this afternoon?
Is he kidding? Like, he's got to be joking with us. Like, this cannot be serious. Surviving the Survivor was escorted out. Was it today, Melissa? Or was that yesterday? Hold on. It needs to be nap time at Bendy's house. I'm tired. 4:30 is like, it's the hour of bullshit. Oh, okay. So not okay. So the surviving the survivor. It's his friend Tim that was removed. Shakto, I got your email, but I was having lunch with the Nuggie. So when we're done for the day, I will give you all the deets. I appreciate you emailing me very promptly. You, sir, I know you don't think you are, but are a scholar and a gentleman, and I appreciate you getting back to me so much. How many freaking schedule sidebars, Bev, are we going to need? This is ridiculous. We didn't take care of the scheduling sidebars when he saw everybody at the sidebar earlier before we broke for 2 hours. Like, you couldn't have discussed the afternoon's scheduling. What in the actual hell is happening? This trial is going to last 6 months if they don't get their poop in a group, and let's go. Oh, for lunch? So Nuggie had her usual. Now, I will say this. Nuggie has been not eating sandwiches lately. Lately, she's wanted a hot dog. So she's like her granny when she finds, and her mother, when she finds something that she likes, that's all she wants to eat. So for like a week, it was hot dogs, the good hot dogs, the beef hot dogs, all beef hot dogs. And now she's back on her sandwich kick because she told me it's been a while since she had a granny sandwich. And so she likes wheat bread. Chick-fil-A sauce, turkey, pickles, and cheese. And then she had Doritos. Now I had a salad. Technically, kind of it is if you really think about it, but to Chicky Nuggy Popeye Esquire's mind, they're two very distinct and separate things. However,
Have a seat.
let the record reflect that the Chicky Nuggy Popeye Esquire says that Granny makes the best sandwiches and hot dogs. So there's that.
Yeah, thanks.
I just love her. I just love her. And our days are coming, our carefree, footloose, fancy free days of just doing, Chicky Nuggy and Granny time is over shortly because school's going to start. But one thing I am excited about is hearing all the gossip from kindergarten. I think it's going to be fantastic. I am impressed with her as well, Cray Cray. She has quite a sophisticated little palette. That's so rude, Neat. Made you pay for the date and charged you $3.85 and you didn't even feed you. Rude and disrespectful. Oh, I will say this. I am known in the family for making delicious sandwiches. Even my mom used to say I made the best sandwiches. It's my special skill. One of many. I make a delicious sandwich. Mainly because I don't like a dry sandwich, but I don't like it too soggy. But I don't like it when you bite into a sandwich and it's like the first bite is all bread. I like for whatever you put on this sandwich, I think every bite should be uniform.
Court's now in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial of Commonwealth versus-
Oh, I love a BLT, Tracto.
Including the defendant and including the 18 jurors.
My son used to get so mad at me because he would say it was a waste of bacon.
What we're now going to do at this point is we're going to return to the evidence. We have witness Patrick Clancy, who testified earlier, is now being recalled, as I said, for
What?
the purpose of cross-examination. Okay.
So now Patrick is coming back to the stand.
Afternoon, Mr. Clancy. You and I have certainly met before, correct?
Correct.
Would you agree with me that I went with you and your brothers, maybe some other people, into your home very shortly after the state police finished with searching and removing what they felt was evidence from the home?
Yes.
And you recall that went into different rooms and looked at different things, and I think I took some photographs and things of that nature. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sure you guys have turned your volume up because this attorney is intentionally speaking directly to the jury and to Patrick, but he's standing right next to the court reporter so she can hear everything. This is intentional. We're apparently going to be not listening to testimony, or we're not going to be able to listen to the question being asked. We're going to have to read it. So there's that. Here we go.
So, if I may, you met Lindsay back when she was in school, or was she working as a nurse?
She was at the MGH Institute.
And the MGH Institute is like Mass General Hospital nursing program, correct?
Correct.
She had some kind of like an accelerated course or something,
Yeah.
had a double major.
Yeah.
Was a very good student.
She was, yeah.
And she, at a relatively young age, got her RN and was a nurse at Mass General, correct?
Correct.
And at Mass General, she was a, they call it L&D, a labor and delivery nurse, is that it?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many years she worked in Mass General?
I think she started in 2014.
Do you remember when she graduated from nursing school?
6 months earlier.
And were you guys in a relationship then, or
We were, yeah.
and had you started living together in Southie, or was that before that?
Not in Southie. We didn't live together in Southie. We lived together in Quincy.
Quincy. Okay. Tell us a little bit about, you know Lindsay, obviously, better than most. How did she like being a nurse?
She loved it. I think it was her dream.
Would you say that she enjoyed her work and helping people?
Definitely, yeah.
So there's been some commentary here from the government about that she was anxious because she had to go back to work, or she didn't want to go to work, she was lazy, or whatever the case may be.
Objection.
This is sustained, if you could rephrase that.
All right, so I'll strike lazy, that she didn't want to go back to work, but I believe you said in answer to the DA, there was a reason that you could see that she was anxious about going back to work, correct?
Correct.
Now, was she anxious about going back to work, to your knowledge, because she just didn't want to work?
No.
What was the reason?
She struggled to be away from our kids at a young age.
So when you guys ultimately moved to Duxbury, did you have children then?
Yeah.
And as the years went by, you obviously had more children. Ultimately, you got 3 children,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
You told us about her birth with Cora, and
Yeah.
Cora, it was a bit of a rough birth. Is that right?
Yeah, she didn't have time to get an epidural, and she bled a lot.
Do you, in the years that you lived with Lindsay as boyfriend and girlfriend, fiancés, and then ultimately husband and wife, do you recognize her handwriting?
I haven't seen it in a long time, but so I'm not sure.
Okay. While counsel's looking at that, is it your understanding, would she take notes or lists and
Yeah,
for work and home and things of that nature?
you would, yeah.
Excuse me. I'm going to approach you, sir, with this document and just ask if you can recognize, if you can recognize the handwriting.
Yeah, that looks like her handwriting.
Looks like Lindsay's handwriting.
Yep.
So I'm going to run there after this.
Any objection?
Yes.
All right, if I could see counsel.
So he's going to have Patrick look at, oh, sorry, I forgot that I shouldn't be yelling or talking in a loud voice. So he's going to have Patrick look at some handwriting. I don't know where he's going with this. I'm sure the objection is relevance. So they're going to argue over here at sidebar. I don't know if it's relevant or not because I don't know what he intends to do with the handwriting, but I'm sure they're going to be objecting to everything, Melissa, absolutely. And no epidural. No, thank you. I mean, I had C-sections. I actually only had a little bit of labor with my oldest son. I've never been in labor other than that. And, but I did have Braxton Hicks
Yeah.
and I didn't appreciate those at all. So no, thank you.
What does it appear to be to you, if you know? Does it appear to be notes of deliveries that she was involved with?
Yeah.
You see the first one, what's the date, if you can read it? I can't.
It says May 11th, 2015.
And does that indicate, would that, to your knowledge, be around when she started working as a labor delivery nurse?
I thought she started a little early, but I'm not sure.
You see the name of the little girl that was born on that date that was her first delivery?
Yeah,
What's the name?
it's Cora.
And is that the reason you guys named Cora?
It was, yeah.
You tell the jurors, as a husband living with Lindsay over the years, What kind of a mother was she?
She was very dedicated. She did everything. She started reading them books at 3 months, and she made up songs for them. I remember she used to make green eggs and ham for Cora because she liked that book.
Is that one of the Dr. Seuss books?
Yeah. She brought them to music classes.
You're quite the musician yourself, isn't that right?
I play a few instruments, yeah.
You play guitar.
Yep.
In your home, one of the things that appears to be striking is that almost every room, other than maybe a bedroom, but was dedicated to children. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like you didn't have a fancy dining room, right?
We did not, no.
What did you have in the dining room?
We had the table that I grew up with.
How about stuff on the wall in the different rooms? Did she put things, wall hangings on the walls for the kids?
There was a lot of art projects, stickers, things like that.
And would they be hanging from the wall?
Yeah.
One of the photographs that the government had was a photograph that, excuse me, you can identify for us. Is this photograph a fair and accurate depiction of one of your rooms?
Yeah.
And what room would that be?
That's the playroom.
Right off of this room?
Any objection?
No.
All right, that may be admitted. Thank you.
If I may put Exhibit 58 up so the jurors and his honor can see it. There's some kind of like, it looks as though it's boxed out window. So are we standing in the kitchen looking into that room through that boxed out window?
Yeah.
And all those objects, obviously, they're in that room would be kids' toys and things of that nature, right?
Right.
Do you recognize this photograph as being just a sample or sampling of the kids' rooms?
Yeah.
You know which room that was?
I think it was Dawson's.
Okay, right off of this.
Any objection?
No.
All right, that may be admitted. All right, thank you.
This one here has a bunch of stickers. It's got Bruce Lightyear or whatever his name is over to the right. It's got alphabet, A, B, C, D, things of that nature, correct?
It's Paw Patrol.
I'll just say this. I think that both sides, the prosecution and the defense, is going to have to play Patrick Clancy very carefully because they're very dependent upon the testimony they wish to elicit from him. So I don't think that the defense on cross-examination is going to sort of try to shift blame here. I think that they're going to want to avoid that. That's all. I have to pause for various commentary. Here we go.
And again, following through on that same theme, you recognize this photograph as well being another portion of that wall?
Yeah.
And what are those, decals?
Yeah, they're just big stickers.
Okay. In the interest of time, Your Honor, I would just say, you also identify this as being one of the kids' walls. Would that be what you were telling us would be art projects?
Yeah.
And they were hanging on the wall?
Correct.
And who hung them on the wall?
I think Lindsay did.
And would she also take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures of the kids?
Yeah.
Do you recall her putting together a little collage saying newborn, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and then hanging that on the wall?
Yeah, she did it for each kid.
And which child was that?
That one's Dawson.
Dawson. Did you have occasion to see her interact with Dawson as a...
Frank, did you wish to introduce those photographs?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Please do it.
60 and 61.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you describe for the jurors her relationship with Dawson? I know he was a little kid, but I mean, did she, to your observation, did she love Dawson?
She loved Dawson very much.
Did she resent him?
No.
You might be asking why he would ask specifically about Dawson. Why would, if to Patrick's mind, Lindsay resented Dawson. The reason he's asking about Dawson specifically is because Dawson was a much more difficult birth physically. There was a lot of tearing. And this is, according to Patrick's testimony, the second child is when Lindsay sort of had struggles postpartum. Sorry, it started.
Familiar with as her husband, Lindsay's, let's say, use of social media such as Facebook, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us, would you look at her Facebook a lot and the pictures that she would post?
To be honest, no, not really.
Okay. Were you able to identify any of her postings on Facebook?
Probably.
Okay. Representative, over the years, or the period of time, I'm going to ask if you can identify this particular Facebook.
Brad, if we may approach briefly.
Sure.
Oh, for the love of Pete. All right, I don't know what this approach is about, but I'll say this. Birdie says, Jen, I love your low golf voice. Thank you. It's hard because, I don't want to jar you guys. I'm a loud talker and I know that. So I'm really trying not to do that because he's, I think, intentionally, I think that trials being streamed, double-edged sword. If you are the defense and you feel like your client is being railroaded, which I think this defense at Reddington does feel like she shouldn't be being prosecuted at all, but that they should have it should have been a plea deal. It should have been a, not guilty by reason of insanity. And she should have served a term in a secure facility before being considered for release, potential release. And to be fair, we'll just have to see how that goes. But anyway, I forgot what my original point was, why he's asking him all of this, because now my brain went somewhere else and now my brain is not going to come back. So that's just the way that it is. I have no idea what this sidebar could possibly be about. I don't know if they are serving after lunch mints or refreshments. I'm not sure. Fruit tray, maybe. I don't know. Oatmeal raisin cookies. I don't know. It's annoying. There's all too many sidebars. I forgot what I was going to say, though. I feel like I had a good point. Yes, Nate, tell them. Nate says, remember, even if you thumbs upped earlier, we need to do it again for the afternoon session. That's right. Do it for the algorithm. Which at this point, I don't think anybody really, like outside of Google and YouTube, really knows how the algorithm works. But here's the deal. It can't freaking hurt. So do it, please. Do it for your girl. Yes, I would. Yes, Shakto says 2-hour lunch, and 40 billion sidebars. I would say we're past 40 billion sidebars at this point, Shakto. We're clearly into the 11 billion range, at least, at the very least. It's just, this is a Massachusetts thing because I've never seen this many sidebars, and I've covered and watched a hell of a lot of trials. That's also another number, hell of a lot. I think they're focusing on Dawson specifically because Dawson's birth was traumatic in terms of, I believe he was breech. I believe there was a lot of tearing. There was a lot of blood. They couldn't get her epidural in time. And I believe that she had a little bit of a struggle adjusting to having a toddler, Cora, and then a newborn, Dawson. And that is an adjustment. I mean, when I had my boys, they're 10 months apart. So it is an adjustment for sure. You know, everybody was like, when I brought my oldest son home, you know, it'll be fine. You just sleep when he sleeps. Well, guess what? He never slept. Never. He was just not he still isn't. Even to this day as an adult, he's not a sleeper. I'll never forget one time, it was nap time. And quite frankly, every mother of toddlers knows that, yes, toddlers do need a little bit of a nap, but nap time is like a quiet time for mom, really. Just a minute to just catch your breath. And I'll never forget it. He looked me like right in my eye and he said, "I don't need a nap. I am nocturnal." And I said, "Well then, if that's the case, if you are nocturnal, you should be asleep right now because nocturnal means you sleep during the day and you're awake at night. So motion denied, take a nap." Yeah. Sleeping when the baby sleeps never works out, and it works out even less after the second baby. It just is what it is, you know? You're right. You're right, Scott. We need to be patient, and here comes Scott to be the voice of reason. Scott says this is a very contentious trial. If found guilty, they are certainly going to appeal given her mental health history. Expect a ton of sidebars as the defense wants to preserve all avenues of appeal. You're right. You're right. I don't know. ATS says, "I don't know how you guys do it with more than 2 kids. I'm exhausted with 2. Do I seem all right to you, Amber? These fools broke me, okay? This is the after.
If I ask a question,
I'm barely hanging on.
I'm sure that, listeners will certainly give you a break.
Yep.
Like, push too hard, just let me know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Appreciate it.
Okay, so again, just representative of the Facebook postings that Lindsay would post as the mother of your children. This, for example, would be July of 2018.
Yep.
Can you tell the jurors who that would be?
That's Cora.
Look at her. What a little doll baby.
Moving forward, say June of 2021. Can you tell us who that?
That's Cora and Dawson.
Okay.
I'm not sure this is the right way to go, Mr. Defense
End of
Attorney.
July 2021.
That's us with Cora and Dawson.
August 2021.
Dawson.
Okay.
Jonah's mom, didn't you take Jonah recently for the big snip?
21.
That might be why, babe.
It's Cora and Dawson.
August, again, 1 of 21.
It's Cora and Dawson.
September 1 of 21.
It's Cora and Dawson.
Oh no, Scott, this is cross, honey.
Yeah.
There's like 200 witnesses, babe. They're not going to be finished anytime soon. There's 200 witnesses, 11 billion, 40 million sidebars, and a 2-hour break.
That's Lindsay and Cora.
And was that some kind of like a family fun day, if you recall, where there was like box of things for kids to get in?
Yeah.
I think he needs to be very careful this way,
September 21.
doing this.
No, that's Dawson.
Dawson, okay, September 21. Callan was born when? I'm sorry.
May 2022.
Okay. And Christmas Eve, December 24th of 2021.
That's Cora's birthday.
Okay, and that's her birthday party that year?
Yeah.
Now, that's 2021, right?
Correct.
Fast forward 1 year, and that would be Christmas of 2022, right?
Right.
And was that when you guys had the birthday party for Cora at the trampolines?
No.
When was that?
I believe it was January 7th.
Okay, but that would have been for that particular birthday, right?
That was for the birthday with friends because most people weren't available on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then down again, September 1st of 22. Remember when that was taken?
Yeah, that's with Callan and Dawson.
Was that your yard?
That's in the backyard.
Backyard. Okay. This would have been September of 22, obviously right before 23, right?
Right.
And again, for this one here, July of 22, can you tell me, jurors, you guys had a pretty good summer that year?
It was a good summer. Yeah, that was on Cape Cod.
This picture was on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Just a side note, I've always wanted to visit Cape Cod after Splash. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid, just obsessed. That's all I have to, I just don't understand.
A couple of points that I wanted to raise, sir.
I don't understand the point of those photographs for this witness, and I'll tell you why. I think that while it is important to show that Lindsay was a loving, doting mother leading up to this, it can work as a double-edged sword, because seeing those little sweet angel, those cherubic faces, actually might backfire and make the jury really hate her, even though they're not supposed to allow their emotions. It's very difficult in cases like this. And even if you are really only considering the facts, if you don't like a person, then you will see those facts in a very skewed way. So I think he should be very, very careful with this.
With you. You have an email sent from is it Surface Pro? Is that what it's called?
That was my laptop. Yeah.
I'm going to approach you, sir, and ask if you can identify this as being an email that you sent.
Yeah.
Okay. Right off of that, Your Honor.
The objection.
I'd just like to know the purpose of.
Purpose? I'll
Yes.
tell you the purpose.
No,
We could approach sidebar.
sure, yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. I couldn't get my phone to charge, and it's at like 15%. You guys know how I feel about charging The Battery. Yes, it is. It's on Netflix. I was scrolling through there not long ago, maybe about a month ago, and I saw it and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was so excited. I show watched it. I sure did. No shame. Let's see. Hey, S Hockett, good to see you. It's been a minute. S Hockett says, I haven't really paid attention to this case. I wasn't sure if I could handle it.
Okay, thank you.
Although I had a very different opinion on Yates due to the fact that it was close to home and facts that weren't public. Yeah, there were a lot of. There is a documentary on HBO Max. I don't want to interrupt him. On HBO Max about Andrea Yates and a potential cult involvement. And I'm very, very curious about that. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I intend to. Yes, it is. I remember watching it on HBO. I remember being, oh, I don't know, maybe 9. I think I was 9 when it came out, maybe younger, maybe 8. And my grandmother took us to see it, me and my sister. And then the next day she took us to see the Sesame Street movie. And I was so mad because I did not want to see the Sesame Street movie at all. I wanted to see Splash again. I was very annoyed. Annoyed. Hey, 99 Problems. Yeah, I think everybody feels, well, not everybody, most everybody in our chat feels very badly for the husband, although he has been taking a rash of shit on the internet. Lil D, thank you for being a member for 10 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the channel. All right, here we go. Splash, Mally. Oh, on HBO Max about Andrea Yates. I'll have to look it up.
Let me just move on to something else. Do you recall yesterday the district attorney was asking you a question or stated to you that on December 2nd?
We'll rewind it because this is, we're good. If I don't answer Shekto, he's not asking me a question. It happened in 1980. If Splash was in 1984, then I was 7. So I was even younger. And I wanted to be a mermaid so bad. So bad.
2nd of 20.
Let me rewind this.
Move on to something else. Do you recall yesterday the district attorney was asking you a question or stated to you that on December 2nd of 2022 that you and your wife went to a fancy hotel in Boston and she had a massage and you both had a big dinner? Do you recall her asking you that question?
Yeah.
And in fact, would you agree, sir, that you did not, in fact, go to a fancy hotel on December 2nd of 22, being a Saturday night before your anniversary, the 3rd? You stayed at home, didn't you?
We did. We stayed at home.
And when you were asked that question by the DA, she wanted the inference to be that Lindsay Clancy in December of 22 was so relaxed that she wanted to have a massage and have a big dinner in a hotel. In fact, she was in her bedroom that night, wasn't she?
Objection.
Sustained. If you could rephrase that.
I'm approaching you with what appears to be from.
Okay. To answer you, Karen, when did they get divorced? I'll say that. I'll tell you. Patrick Clancy quietly divorced Lindsay Clancy sometime after the January 2023 deaths of their 3 children. The public first learned of the divorce and his subsequent remarriage, on July 23, 2026, during selection for her murder trial. Lindsay Clancy's defense attorney, Kevin Reddington, revealed the personal update in court during the final days of jury selection. Patrick has since relocated to New York City and remarried. According to a report by People, he lives with his second wife, who works as a reproductive endocrinologist. Despite the divorce, Patrick was called as the prosecution's first witness which we're watching now, to testify at Plymouth Superior Court when the murder trial officially commenced. So we're not exactly sure exactly when he actually divorced her.
One of the photographs that the district attorney had showed you yesterday with her in a mask, and I believe the Dachshund in a mask, right? And then,
Yep.
now that photograph, sir, was actually preserved, if you will, on the Laptop Pro computer, isn't that right? Did she send that to you?
She sent it to my computer.
Okay.
I don't know.
And where was she? Do you remember when that picture was taken? Let me
I
just show you.
didn't see it.
Yeah. That's what the photograph was.
It looks like they're at the doctor.
At the doctor's office, okay. And can you tell me the date that picture, right-hand corner top, what date was that picture taken and sent to your computer?
It's December 2nd.
The same date that we're talking about, correct? And what
Correct.
time was the picture sent?
12:45 p.m.
Okay. So the jury. So when you're dealing with these things on the computers, it's a little hard sometimes to understand what they're depicting, and I'm having a hard time moving it. There it is. All right. Right there, you see that there? That's the date that we're talking about, right?
Right. Just to clarify, though, it looks like that was on an iPhone.
Oh, I'm sorry, iPhone. Okay, it was sent to you, though.
Correct.
And it was on December 2nd, the date that the DA was suggesting you were in Boston having massages and dinner, right?
Objection, that was December 3rd.
All right.
Thank you, Tess. Thank you. I appreciate that. So sweet of you. That's super generous, Tess said. Thank you for streaming this important, albeit difficult trial. We so appreciate it. And you and a kissy face. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that so much. The nuggie needs me. Give me 1 second. And there is a question that 99 Problems has, and I want to answer that, but I got to answer a nuggie first. All right, here we go.
Well,
It's the jury's memory, but,
yeah, if you can answer that.
do you recall, sir, that she also had sent you the same day or taken a picture of what appears to be Cora's Christmas list, wish list? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look at the record on that, that was sent if you can read that,
It's December 2nd at 6:13 p.m.
6:13 p.m. And then finally, if you look at the metadata that is apparently buried in the photograph, it gives latitude and longitude.
I missed that whole thing. I'll just have to go back and watch it because I missed it. But 99 Problems, but crime ain't one. Asks, Jen, doesn't the divorce work in the prosecution's favor since no more spousal privilege? Yes. I mean, and the spousal privilege really is that you cannot force a spouse to testify against the other spouse. However, if the spouse chooses to, they can. You just can't make them. So, I think that he was always going to testify one way or the other, just for the fact that, I mean, he does support her. So if he does support her, it actually is him testifying, either whether he testifies for the state or the prosecution. Because there were a couple of times when the prosecutor tried to get him tripped up a little bit, but he said I think context is important, and he clarified a few things. So I think that it worked, that was a good thing.
Of where the photograph was taken, is that right? You're familiar with metadata, I would imagine? No way I can't do this.
The tape on the thing tells you where to put the.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's our address.
Okay. And that would be the metadata with the latitude and the longitude, and shows you where these photos were taken, correct?
Correct.
What author these, Ron?
So I think we had Exhibit 76. They're making a copy of that. Do you want to mark that? I don't know if we marked that yet. That was the earlier one, just so everybody can keep this straight. And this latest email would be Exhibit 77.
That would be the letter, the email? Yeah, the email right here. Yep. Yes.
Exhibit 76 and 77.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, sir, Exhibit 76 is an email from you to, and we will going to delete the people that are on the email, if I may, Your Honor, as we mark it as an exhibit. Let me approach you. Does it indicate the date and the time? At the very top, you sent that email to your staff members or people that work with you.
It does. Yep.
Tell the jurors what the date was.
It's January 24th at 5:24.
And that was sent from your Surface Pro?
I don't know, actually. It could have been sent from my iPhone.
Okay. What author this was? Sorry,
Yeah. That would be Exhibit 76.
Now, when was Callan born?
May 26, 2022.
My memory serves that it was a good birth. It was not easy birth, but I mean, there were no complications.
There were no complications.
And were both of you very happy with Callan being
Yeah.
born healthy? And
Yeah, we felt very lucky.
then in that summer of 22, you had one of the best summers that you've had, right?
Yeah.
What happened in September, October of 2022?
Lindsay's mental health started to deteriorate.
And when you say that, sir, what is it that you, as her husband, observed?
Just increased stress and anxiety.
And did she, as a result of that, go to see or reach out for help to see someone?
Yes.
And who was that?
I believe it was Jennifer Tufts.
Now, Jennifer Tufts is a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and where is she located?
I never went to her office. Somewhere on the South Shore.
Do you remember when Lindsay went to see Jennifer Tufts?
I don't remember the exact date. I think it was sometime in September. Oh, I wasn't really involved at the beginning of Jennifer Tufts.
Of course. Do you recall that the difficulties or the trouble, so to speak, began towards the end of September into October of 22?
Yeah, it was pretty gradual.
Okay. But do you remember when the DA asked you yesterday whether or not you used your computer to Google suicide in, I think it was August of 22? Do you remember her asking you that question?
Yes.
And do you remember your response?
No, honestly.
You didn't Google that, did you?
I don't think I did, no.
No. But I'm going to show you, sir, a web history of your computer. Have in mind that the question was asked of you as to whether or not in August of 22 you Googled suicide. You respond no, right?
Correct.
The inference being, I guess, that back in August of 22, she would have Googled it, apparently, right?
Sure.
know a guy named Tim Hall?
I think you mean Tom Hall.
Yeah, Tom Hall, I apologize. Who's Tom Hall?
He's a musical artist,
He's a what artist?
like a country artist.
Country. Is he like a guitar playing guy or singer?
Yeah, was.
When you say was, what happened to him?
He committed suicide.
And I'm going to show you, sir, your Surface Pro records back in August of 22. Do you recall Googling the name Tom Hall so you could access one of his new albums or new records?
I do remember briefly listening to Tom Hall's music.
Okay. Now, you've never seen, you haven't seen this document before, correct?
Correct.
All right, and this would be, I'm sure you're probably familiar with it. When you get a phone dump or a computer records dump, you get a printout of all the sites that somebody would go on, Google, Wikipedia, things like that.
Right.
If you can look to the right,
Yep.
down a little bit, you see, I think it says Tom Hall.
Yeah.
What does it say on Tom Hall?
It says his Wikipedia page.
Yep. You see here? So, here, we've got so that shows you when somebody Googles, and then it goes Wikipedia, and you see where up above it says suicide methods?
Yeah.
Now, you didn't, as you said to the DA, you didn't Google suicide methods, right?
I didn't Google suicide methods, no.
But in fact, sir, when you Googled Tom Hall, it took you to the Wikipedia page and it said that he died, right?
He did, yeah.
And then you clicked on the Wikipedia page and it went into a hyperlink. You know what a hyperlink is? I imagine you
Yeah.
do. I don't. Hyperlink.
Yeah.
What is a hyperlink, just so I know?
So like in Wikipedia, it would be a word that's highlighted in blue and it goes to a website.
Okay. So if I suggest to you, sir, that as you move down on your searches that afternoon, that you were looking at Tom Hall, that it brought you to ways to commit suicide, Tom Hall, Google search again, Tom Hall, all on that date at the same time. And you were just looking to see about the guy because he killed himself, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'd offer this.
Any objection?
Can I just see the packet?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as a nurse, she is a nurse.
I got that discovery from the DA's.
As a nurse, she would hardly need to Google methods for self-deletion. I mean, let's be realistic here. And this is why a lot of times trials are kept, or not like the trial themselves, but like the evidence is kept out of the public until the trial, because seeing that in context, it's very asking him, which the prosecution did do yesterday, did you Google suicide methods? And his answer was no, leaving the impression with the jury that there was a actual Google search where somebody typed in the words suicide methods. But in full context, it is that somebody went to that there was a Wikipedia page about a country music artist who committed suicide. And if you click that, and there are lots of hyperlinks inside of Wikipedia pages, and if you click them, it's going to take you to another page inside of Wikipedia. But putting that in the full context changes the question that she asked him yesterday. And see, this is why I was wanting to keep an open mind, because I'm not going to say, I don't know what you guys know. Obviously, I couldn't possibly, but I don't know the context of some of this stuff. And so that is what I'm interested in. This changes things dramatically. the fact that it was not a specific actual Google, the way that I just Googled, when did Patrick Clancy divorce Lindsay? That's an actual Google search. That's not what this was. And putting that into context makes a difference. I'm curious if that changes you guys' minds, knowing that it wasn't an actual Google search. It was a hyperlink inside of a Wikipedia page about a country music star.
Well, it's an email from his
We'll
expert, not us.
just take a look at it and we'll kind of go from there. Hold on a second.
Yeah, just take a look at it and we'll go from there. Karen says the many medications certainly had their effect. And what effects were detected in her system? We're not even there yet. We're on day 2 of this trial. We have had 3 witnesses: Patrick Clancy, the CVS lady, and the
Well, she's
hostess
looking
at
that. I just
the.
asked her, what is a URL? What does that mean?
Hold on a second. Wait till she gets a chance to finish.
Now I got thrown off with asking what is a URL. We haven't heard any testimony about anything that was in her system. The other lady was the hostess at 3V. That's what it was. Sorry.
Yes, I would object.
If I could see, Counsel.
I don't know. This is your discovery. Why are you objecting to this? I suppose, okay, I can, never mind. Never mind. I understand why they're objecting. I think that admitting this in for the purposes of an exhibit and for evidence through this witness would be wrong. The right person to have this needs to come in under would be the actual person who did the extraction on whatever device this came off of. Oh my gosh, I look up all kinds of things all the time. What was I watching the other day? Oh, The Valley. I was watching The Valley. And one of the people on there, Danny, I think it's Bucco, is an actor and he does voice acting. So I was like clicking to see like what he'd been in. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. Hannah Montana, iCarly, a bunch of stuff. I Google everything. I know what it was. I had the Nuggie over for dinner Monday night and we were watching the Emoji Movie and the voice of Jean Meh was so super familiar. And I Googled. That's what it was.
Refresh your memory, sir, that in fact, inadvertently, that you touched the Wikipedia thing for suicide, but it was for Tom Hall, the singer, right?
Sounds like that was the case.
Okay. Do you recall what medication Lindsay was put on by Dr. Tufts?
She started with Zoloft.
Now, counsel had asked you about whether or not Lindsay was on Zoloft or any SSRI antidepressant medication in the past. Do you remember that question?
Yeah.
Do you remember her asking about that you were having a conversation with her and she said that she was going on Zoloft and that she had already been to Tufts, or was it Tufts that she got the script from?
Correct.
Okay. She told you that, right?
Yeah.
She didn't hide that from you, right?
No.
And you were at a wedding. Is that right? You were walking down the street, the two of you together, like at the end of the night. She basically told you that she had to use the meds.
It was earlier in the day. It was before the wedding, but yeah.
Okay. And do you recall how, to your observation, how dedicated was she to taking her medications as instructed by the numerous doctors that she ultimately saw?
She always took them as instructed.
Do you remember, did she in fact have a diary that she kept of the milligrams the type of medication, the date that she took the medication, and what, if any, reactions that she had to it. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
And do you remember where that was kept? Did she keep it in any particular place?
I think she kept it in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. So I'm going to show you a photograph that the state police took in your house. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of your kitchen?
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure that I'm on a watch list for my Googles because I Google everything about true
That
crime.
kind of shows a bunch of books that are in like a cabinet or something, right?
Right.
I'm going to show you this enlarged spine, if you will, of a book. I'm going to ask if you ever saw that before.
I don't recall seeing this.
Would you agree, sir, that this book is, in fact, the same book, the same coloring that was in the bunch of books in your kitchen?
Yeah.
And on this book, you see what the caption of the book is.
Yeah, it says, good moms have scary thoughts.
And I'm going to approach you with this document, sir, which would be a number of pages from the book, the cover of the book, and the inside of the book. Just, you've never seen that before, no?
Don't recall seeing this.
So with that understanding, Your Honor, I will not offer this at this time.
Hold on. Counsel Como, if you could, Mr. Reddick, if you could show,
Diane, good to see you, by the way. Welcome in. It says, has to be horrible for Patrick to relive this yet again, but he seems almost impatient with some of the questions. I would wish we could know him not taking the stand talking about this horrible event. This might just be him. You know, I would imagine, though, that it's probably exacerbated by the fact that he has to relive this. And I think for him, he probably feels similar to how we were feeling earlier today with some of these questions. He's not the right witness, really, to answer. He's not going to help the jury answer the question that they're there to answer. Really, he's not. I mean, he can lay a foundation. He can tell about the children. He can tell about Lindsay. But ultimately, he's not qualified to assess her mental health, which is what is at the crux of this entire trial. So I'm sure he's feeling a little annoyed. I would be annoyed too. Hell, I'm annoyed sitting here, and I'm sitting here of my own free volition. I could click the X. I could close this at any time, and yet here I am bitching. So I can only imagine how he might be feeling.
what it is that you do.
I'm sorry, you said you're not offering it?
Oh, don't have the foundation. Is that-
Okay.
All right. Any objection?
No.
Okay.
Well, if there's no objection, then sit down and be quiet. Stop
No objection to
interrupting.
not offering it.
Jesus.
All right.
If
No,
I
I'm
could just
lost.
look at it,
Yeah.
there may
Why don't we do this? Why doesn't everybody come over here with that, and we can kind of figure out where we go.
Oh, for fuck's sake. See, I can always understand when the defense objects. The defense is objecting because they have to, and also for appeal reasons, and they have to preserve the record. But when it's the state, the fact of the matter is that even if I didn't know anything, any of the motion stuff that had happened, like during jury selection, right? If I hadn't seen any of that stuff, I could tell that the defense and the state have a very contentious relationship. Like they're not getting along at this trial for this case. Now, I don't know what their working relationship was like with other trials, if any, but at the bottom line is the friendship door right now is fucking
No
closed.
objection.
Okay, that
And you can tell. And it's a little annoying.
Who was the next doctor, if you recall, that Lindsay went to consult with?
Julie Paul.
And is this a doctor or a nurse practitioner?
I don't remember with Julie Paul. It was very brief.
Okay. Now, is it fair to say that Julie Paul was at South Shore?
Yeah,
Naval or-
correct.
And Julie Paul was a friend of your mother's, is that right?
Yeah, I think they were acquaintances. Yeah,
And your mother was a nurse also at South Shore Hospital.
in L&D. Yeah,
L&D Labor and Delivery, same thing. Okay. And your mother was good enough to refer Lindsay to this person to consult with, right?
yeah. I don't think it was a formal referral. I think she just said this is a specialist that you might want to talk with.
All right. And did she go to see the specialist?
Yeah.
And did you go with her, or was this a?
No, I never met
I should
Julie
back
Paul.
myself up. Were these like in-person meetings, or are they like what do you call them, Zoom meetings? And
Most of the meetings were Zoom. The only in-person that I'm aware of was with Rebecca Gelata.
Rebecca Gelata. Okay, and that was because you insisted on it, right?
I thought it was warranted at that time. Yeah.
Right, because you were pretty much at your wit's end with the 15-minute Zooms, and you wanted to sit down eyeball to eyeball and talk to this person, right?
I hadn't attended any prior to that. I just wanted to get clarification. I wanted to see if we could get on the same page.
All right. So now Lindsay's on Zoloft from Dr. Tufts, the psychiatrist, correct?
Correct.
And then that runs into when you guys, she goes to see Nurse Paul.
Can you clarify?
What was it?
Can you clarify what you're asking?
Yeah, what month? When was it that she saw Nurse Paul?
Maybe October, but I'm not sure.
Okay. When she saw Nurse Paul, do you remember where she saw Nurse Paul, or was it a video thing?
I don't know. I wasn't involved.
Okay. Did Nurse Paul prescribe medication to her?
I'll allow it if he knows.
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. Do you recall whether or not, to your opinion, that she had any reactions to the Zoloft that she had been placed on by Dr. Tufts?
I don't allow any observations that were made.
Right, so it's not guesswork, it's observations, anything you saw and observed.
Yeah, it seemed to align with her insomnia symptoms.
Now, the insomnia, inability to sleep, was that a significant problem from your observations with her?
Yeah, it was a huge problem.
And when you say huge problem, was there one point when she was on medication from Tufts that in fact she had gone 48 hours, I think, without sleep?
Yeah.
And that was disturbing to her?
Yeah, and it was just hard to function.
And how about you? Was it disturbing to you?
I just wanted her to get sleep and feel better.
Now, during that period of time, she then went and saw the next doctor, a nurse practitioner, which we talked about, which would be nurse practitioner Paul at South Shore, right?
Right.
Now, after seeing nurse practitioner Paul, if you remember, or no, did you observe, did she seem to get better or did she seem to get worse?
It would be hard to say. I think it was a week at most. So it's really hard to say in that short a time frame.
Sure. And when you say a week at most, you mean that's like she was seeing nurse practitioner Paul for about a week?
Yeah, and I mean, she may have only seen her once. It was very brief, and then she got reassigned somewhere, so.
And the reason, if you know, that she got reassigned somewhere would be nurse practitioner Gelata, right?
Right.
Same practice, right?
Right.
And the reason was because Paul moved on to another job, right?
Right.
So Lindsay wasn't out doctor hunting. She was referred by the nurse practitioner that was referred to you guys by your mom because Paul was leaving, right?
Yeah, she just switched doctors in the same practice.
All right. Now, she sees Dr. Gelada, right?
Right.
Did Dr. Gelada, to your knowledge, put her on medication?
Yeah.
And what was the medication, if you know?
Mainly Seroquel and benzodiazepines, Ativan.
Now, benzodiazepines, they're addictive, right?
Apparently.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
And a benzo would be, for example, Ativan, correct?
Correct.
Now, Seroquel, she was placed on Seroquel as well, is that correct?
Right.
And to your observation, again, you're not a doctor, what you saw of your wife, was she affected positively or negatively by the Seroquel that she was on?
It appeared that she was affected very negatively, and she was reporting that that she was getting worse on the Seroquel.
And do you know, did she report that to Dr. Gelada?
Yeah.
When she would consult with Dr. Gelada, prior to you actually going, do you know, were they all on video? If you know.
I believe, yeah, they were all on Zoom.
Okay. Do you have any opinion for the jury as to approximately how long these meetings on Zoom would be with the nurse practitioner?
Probably around 20 minutes.
At some point, do you recall that you went with Lindsay to see Dr. Gelada? Is that right?
Yes.
And do you remember, if you remember, when that was?
Early December.
In early December of 2022, can you tell the jury from your observations, how did Lindsay appear? How was she acting? How was she faring?
She was extremely sleep deprived and just highly anxious.
Was there a number of occasions that you would actually see her on the sofa, rocking back and forth with her head under a pillow?
Yeah.
Did you report that and other symptoms to Dr. Gelada?
Lindsay did.
So when was it, if you recall, that you went and saw Dr. Gelada with your wife, person to person?
When was it?
Yep.
Early December. I think it was December 6th.
And do you remember, you have a pretty good memory about this, do you remember what medication she was prescribed by Gelada?
Coming out of that meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, she increased the Seroquel significantly, and then she prescribed her Valium to help taper off of the benzos.
I'm not sure how Valium would help taper off benzos, since Valium is also a benzo, but nevertheless, interesting. I'm very curious what her starting dose of Seroquel was and her ending dosage of Seroquel was. What was it increased to? And here's why. Because at very low doses, Seroquel off-label can be used to treat sleeplessness. However, its on-brand or its on-label recommendations are it is an antipsychotic. So I'm very, very curious as to just exactly what it was, what the dosage was, and why she chose Seroquel. I will say, to be fair, okay, I think we all that live in the United States understand how the healthcare system here works, that there are pharmaceutical representatives that come out to doctors' offices and they are given perks should they prescribe their medication versus something else. So I will say that. So I'm very, very curious about all of this. And that we're not going to get it from this witness. And as much as I do want to hear what Patrick has to say, like low key, you guys, I want to get him off the stand because he cannot answer any of the questions that I have.
Taper off the benzos?
Yeah.
To your knowledge, did Lindsay go to doctors to seek out benzodiazepines or drugs just because she was a drug addict?
No. Lindsay, I think, wanted to She definitely didn't want to take any more benzodiazepines and definitely didn't want to take any more Seroquel. I think that it wasn't really a matter of trying to get off the medication. It was just trying to get on the right medication.
Okay. Let's say mid-December, what observations, if any, heading up towards Christmas, did you guys endure?
She seemed to get worse. The Seroquel was increased to 400 milligrams.
400?
Yep. And,
By Dr. Gelada?
Yeah. And the idea behind that was it would help with sleep, but she didn't get better. She got worse.
Do you recall that at one point she went to a place called Women's and Infants
Yeah.
in Rhode Island?
Right.
Women and Infants Center for Women's Behavioral Health. Do you recall that?
Right.
Do you remember when she actually went to Women's Behavioral Health?
Sometime in mid-December. I don't know the exact date.
All right. So if I suggest to you, sir, that I have certified copies of the Women and Infants medical records indicating that on December 20th of 2022, that was the day that you dropped her off at Women. Does that refresh your memory?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer the certified copies of the Women and Infants hospital records.
I would object, we don't have a copy of those.
All right.
You don't have them?
Could I see everybody here?
Karen says, what kind of drug cocktail was it? As a nurse, you probably should know something like that. Or did she trust the doctor so much? Okay, this is what I think. I think what we're getting is a lay person's explanation of the drugs that she was prescribed. So when you think about it in those terms, if you're looking at a list of 10, 15, 20 medications that she was prescribed, it's one thing to be prescribed them. We're talking over a period of time. I don't think she necessarily was taking all of these at once, obviously. And if her intended goal was to get off of benzodiazepines, then likely she wasn't taking all of these. And this is why I think asking the ex-husband, these questions at this time, it's too involved and you're losing the jury. He can't talk. I mean, he can say, look, she went to this doctor and I think she was prescribed this and she didn't react well to this. The Seroquel made her like this. But beyond that, he really can't answer anymore. So let's get this together
Mr. Clancy, do you
and
remember
move
that
on.
day, December 20th of 2022, that she
Yeah.
went to that place? How did
I mean, I do think that he is important for the defense's case in that he can speak to the difficulty Lindsay was experiencing in talking about and getting her issues addressed. I mean, certainly when you do a telehealth check, it's very limited in what you can do. And I think that no, I don't think the defense is trying to show how little he was aware of things. I actually think what they're trying to elicit for him is how they, for one thing, to clear up that she wasn't doctor shopping, number one. Number two, how ineffective the telehealth was. So much to the point that he was like, no more freaking, we're not phoning it in anymore. We're going to go in and we're going to sit down with these doctors so that they can see you face to face. Really understand how you're feeling. This is not, a telehealth to try to get a diagnosis. I can't imagine would seem to me to be very, very difficult. I think you have to build a rapport, both the patient and the prescriber, the doctor. You can't Zoom is not a good way to get to know somebody. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. And I think what he's really up there to do, this had to be after. This is 2022. They're into December of 2022.
She get there,
I drove her.
and do you remember dropping her off?
Yeah.
Do you remember what her state of mind was to go there? Was she scared? Was she happy? Was she?
I think she was scared.
Do you remember what you did that day?
I took Dawson skiing.
And where did you go skiing?
Wachusett.
At some point in the afternoon, did you receive a phone call?
Yeah.
Was it from Lindsay?
Yeah.
And as a result of the phone call, what did you do?
She said that you need to come pick me up, and the doctors here want to talk to you, have you come in and talk for a bit.
Okay. Did you go and talk to him?
Yeah.
Do you remember who you talked to?
I don't remember their names.
Do you remember the conversation? Did you describe or indicate what her symptoms were at that point in December 20th of 2022?
Yeah, the conversation was they didn't.
Objection.
Yes.
It's going to be hearsay.
Did the people at Women's and Infants Facility in Rhode Island prescribe any medication to your knowledge?
I don't think so.
They provide any counseling or anything?
I think they tried to, but they felt that it wasn't the right fit for Lindsay.
Okay. Do you recall that in fact it was because of the drugs, they weren't sure what symptomology would be because of the drugs?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you recall whether or not the people at Women and Infants in Rhode Island reached out to Dr. Gelada?
Objection.
I don't think so.
If he knows.
I don't think they did, no.
And was it one day or half a day that she went to Women and Infants in Rhode Island?
It was a half a day.
Half a day. So after you pick her up and you bring her home, it's now you and the kids and Lindsay, and it's days before Christmas, right?
Yeah, and her parents were there.
Why were her parents there?
They were visiting, trying to help out, and I took Dawson to Wachusett, so they stayed home with Cora and Kellen.
Now, during that time frame in December of 22, maybe a little bit before, maybe after Thanksgiving, did your mom and dad and Lindsay's parents come to your house and try to help out with the kids?
Yeah, I think it was separately, though.
Yeah, of course, it would be separate. I mean, what would they do?
Just be there, help out, play with them, to get takeout, play Scrabble.
Did Lindsay's mother and father actually stay there and sleep in the basement for
They did, yeah.
time? Were you aware personally, let me back up, you and Lindsay as husband and wife would in effect sleep in the same bedroom, is that correct?
Yeah.
There was an occasion, though, that she said to you about you go downstairs, and then I think she ended up downstairs.
Yeah, for the purposes of her getting better sleep.
And for her purposes of getting better sleep, were you aware that on one occasion she used a gummy, a sleep aid gummy? Did you know that?
I don't recall that, but we did have them in the house.
Okay. Now, to your knowledge, was Lindsay a person that liked to smoke the weed and use the CBDs oils and all that stuff, or did she not imbibe in
I
that?
don't know. She didn't smoke.
So you had these gummies in the house, sleep aid, right?
I mean, some people might call them a sleep aid.
Okay. Heading into the holidays of 22, do you recall where you spent Christmas?
I think it was at our house. We celebrated Cora's birthday. And then I think we actually went down to Wallingford, Connecticut to be with her parents after.
Her parents?
Yeah.
Okay. And then heading into January of 23, who did she then see for doctors or nurse practitioners, if you know?
After she got back from McLean,
Yes.
she switched back to Jennifer Tufts.
Now, before she switches back to Tufts in January, on New Year's of 2022, 2023, you guys drive to Boston, go to MGH, and ultimately she turns herself into McLean Hospital, right?
Right.
Now, McLean Hospital is basically a locked ward facility, correct?
Correct.
Was she allowed to just wander around and leave the place whenever she wanted?
She couldn't leave, but
Couldn't leave.
inside she could go to different areas.
Can you tell the jury what her state of mind was as she went to McLean Hospital with her husband on New Year's 23 at that point?
She was scared. She didn't want to go, but I think it was the second time we went to the ER, and I said, "You have to go."
Now, at McLean Hospital, I know you visited with her, is that correct?
Yeah.
District Attorney asked you yesterday about the excellent care that she was provided with all these counselors and therapists, and you indicated that it was your understanding that she was playing with clay and coloring, right?
Right.
Can you describe for the jury what McLean was like to you as a husband visiting his wife? In other words, were there doctors, were there nurses, were there people in the hallways?
What I saw was it looked like mainly nurses. It was the tail end of COVID, so they were mostly behind this plastic covered area. And it could have been just the time of day that I visited, but people were hanging around, watching TV, playing with clay.
Do you know whether or not she saw a doctor, psychiatrist, ultimately from McLean Hospital?
I was not aware of that. The only one I was aware of it was the doctor on the second to last or final day.
And what was that, Dr. Goodhart?
Yeah.
And did you speak to Dr. Goodhart?
I ended up calling her.
Let's call her.
I wanted to see what her evaluation was. So I gave her a call and we spoke, and she said, she's clearly depressed.
Sustained.
Okay. So you spoke to Dr. Goodhart.
Yeah.
Did Dr. Goodhart, to your knowledge, prescribe any medication?
I think she recommended medication, and then
How many medications did she recommend?
I don't know if she recommended multiple. I want to say it was Cymbalta, but she said, check with your doctor and make a decision.
So when Lindsay left, it was because she wanted to leave one day early because of Cora's birthday. Is that right?
I didn't think it was. I don't think it was one day early. I think she had a 5-day stay, which at the time was my understanding was that was pretty standard. And yeah, she did want to attend Cora's birthday.
So there's no doubt, sir, in your mind that when she was discharged from McLean, that you got these, right? McLean?
Yes.
Yeah. That when she was discharged from McLean Hospital, it was not against medical advice. The doctors gave her bill of health and let her go with you, right?
Right.
And off of the McLean records.
Any objection?
No.
All right, they may be admitted.
Now, when you go to the hospital and you get out of the hospital, they give you a bag and you've got medications and a little card and it says, thank you for being here, stuff like that. Did you guys get anything from McLean at all?
I don't think so.
Did you get any recommendations other than the doctor suggesting that you might want to try Cymbalta? Did they give you a script?
I don't think so.
You know what Cymbalta was?
No.
You remember Dr. Goodhart telling Lindsay to Google it?
I think that's accurate.
Yeah. In fact, she Googled hundreds of times
Yeah.
medication, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys go home, and now it's January, obviously, you had the party for Cora, correct?
Yeah.
You guys had friends over, or friends that you guys knew?
Friends came to the party, which was at a place in Plymouth.
Would you agree with me that Lindsay had a number of friends from actually grammar school through high school through college that she stayed in touch with over the years?
Yeah.
And you as well?
Yep.
And they're good friends, like you still would see them and you guys would do dinner and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Actually, one of your friends, I think it was one of your friends, it might have been one of her friends, actually named her in January or around that time frame to be godmother or take care of their child if anything bad happened to them and they were dead, right? Remember that?
My brain has been foggy. for the last couple of
Okay.
years, but
I understand.
yeah.
Okay. In January, as time went by, do you recall that she would actually continue to take notes of her medications that she was taking, right?
That sounds like something Lindsay would do.
Kept a diary or a little log, right?
Yep.
I'm approaching you, sir, with this and asking if you can identify this. Handwriting.
Yes.
And when you say yes, and I'll put it on the little screen, what is it?
It's the dosage of medication that she took and how she's feeling.
So this is kind of like a little medical diary that she was keeping.
Yeah.
For example, here you see on that 5 milligrams Valium, 200 Seroquel, slept well, horrible thoughts in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And did she at some point, I think the DA had asked you, I'm going to offer this, Your Honor, if I may.
Any objection?
No.
That may be admitted.
Thank you. There was an occasion where she told you, in the presence of her mother, that she was having horrible thoughts, right?
Right.
And you told us about that yesterday. And that it was quite an emotional thing for her to do that, right?
Right.
After that time frame, you continued on. You were working in the basement, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say basement. It was a finished place, right?
Finished basement. Yeah.
And that was where you worked on a regular basis. Is that right?
Yeah.
Would that be a 40-hour week or longer?
It varied, but yeah, roughly 40 hours.
And I know it was maybe COVID, tail end of COVID, but one of the other reasons that you did that was so you could be home and help out. Is that right?
Yeah, I worked from home since 2018.
Okay.
But yeah, I built an office down there.
So you were always there.
Yeah.
Not always, but you were down there when you would work.
When I wasn't traveling, yeah, I was there.
Okay. So when would you travel? Tell us about that.
I really didn't travel actually much during COVID, just towards the end and once in November
November of what year?
2022.
November of 2022.
But before that, I traveled extensively.
But let's look at November of 2022. November of 2022 is a month before she is telling you and her mother that she was having thoughts about hurting the children, right?
Right.
It's November of 2022, and you traveled. Where did you travel to?
New York.
And how long were you there, sir?
2 nights.
And who took care of the kids?
Lindsay.
Sorry?
Lindsay took care of the kids.
Lindsay. So for 2 days, 2 nights, a month and a week or so before she killed the children, she was home with the kids for 2 days. Is that right?
Right.
Fair to say that you also had your friends that you would do brunch with on occasion, Sundays or weeknights or whenever, guys night type thing?
Yep.
And you'd be out with your friends. If she wanted to kill the kids, she certainly could have done it that time when you're out, right?
In theory.
As opposed to sending you on a 3-minute trip to CVS and a 9-minute trip to a restaurant, you were away for 2 days in November and on a number of occasions for brunch as well as skiing, right? You're a pretty active guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to approach you, sir, and one of the books that was in the kitchen cabinet, I believe. If you remember, if you ever saw this one.
I don't think so.
But is it fair to say, sir, that she had a number of books, about parenting and things like that, and this one here was pregnancy and postpartum anxiety workbook. Did she have workbooks that you were aware of, or work diagrams and things like that?
She had books of different sorts.
So you can't identify this as being in the kitchen, right?
I don't recall seeing that book, no.
That might
Yeah.
be his ID.
Sure.
Thank you. By the way, I'll withdraw that. I'm going to approach you, sir, with this document. Excuse me. And ask if you can identify it.
It says postpartum depression and anxiety patient information sheet.
And if you go towards the end there, does it appear to be her writing in it?
Yeah.
Okay. That off of this one?
No objection.
All right, that may be admitted.
Yeah. Understand. Now, sir, looking at this item, it's got a bunch of flowers on the front. Appears to be a notebook. So your understanding that the state police went in your house and they seized all sorts of items, such as this?
Yep.
So we don't have originals, the police do, but these are
Right.
copies. Fair and accurate?
Yeah.
Is that the caption that you were referring to?
Yes.
Postpartum depression and anxiety.
Yes.
And at the end of this particular document, you would agree, sir, that it has writing?
Yeah.
And whose writing is that?
Lindsay's.
And is this like a book or notes that she would take documenting on a daily basis any effect that she had from postpartum?
It appears to be the case.
Yeah. Your Honor, I would offer the records of Dr. Jennifer Tufts, ASTA mental health records.
No
Come.
objection.
All right, that may be, they may be admitted.
I'm going to have to, I think, maybe talk to the DA about this, because I do have a lot of tabs and notes in this one. I know we have clean copies, right?
We have a clean copy we were planning to admit,
All right.
so that's
Good.
not a problem.
Okay.
So we'll enter that, and then before, we can then substitute it with a clean copy.
Thank you.
Don, can I see the exhibit for the, oh. One of the things that you had identified yesterday was the document that you obtained from CVS, is that correct?
Yes.
It sets forth all of the medications that were purchased by Lindsay, by prescription from the physicians that she had seen during that period of time, correct?
Correct.
And you indicated yesterday that the police had seized a number of pill bottles, and then you also had a number of pill bottles, is that right?
Right.
And the pill bottles that you had, do you recall, what were the circumstances that you had them in a bag in your car?
The reason I had them in a bag is because sometimes a provider would adjust medications. So, for example, I do remember Lindsay had a prescription of Ativan, and then a few days later they wanted to increase the dosage because it wasn't effective. So what they would do is they would say, give that old prescription to your husband, he'll discard it, and then continue taking from the new prescription.
When the DA yesterday went through that there were scripts and there were pills with a 30 count, but then there's 27 and 3 were gone, but that's because she wasn't taking her medication. That's not the case. It was what you were told to do, right?
Correct. Yeah. Without that context, it paints a different picture.
I find this part of the testimony to be very interesting because of the way that specifically the benzodiazepines are classified, the type of drug class that they're in. They are considered a controlled substance. And so, and it's interesting to me because whenever I was on benzodiazepines, like for example, at first I was started off on like a quarter milligram of Xanax, and I would check in after like a couple of weeks because Xanax, it's either kind of quickly if it's going to work or not, right? So I told the doctor, yeah, it's kind of working, but not really. And so he said, okay, so instead of taking 1/4 milligram, take, the equivalent of take 2 at a time, which means that if you get a dosage of 1 pill a day, right, for your script, you get sent home 30, they fill 30 pills, right? Well, if they tell you, okay, we'll increase it to another, take 2 so that it makes a 0.5 milligram, right? Then you run out 2 weeks early. And it's interesting how they handled this because that is like not my experience, but I do think that putting it in context with this is why I had it, this is why you will see when you do a pill count, there's 27 out of 30, meaning she only took 3. Well, that's because the doctor increased the dosage. Obviously, writing a new prescription, that's different. Which is what they were doing, was giving her like a new prescription, which I would imagine if you look at that in the system out of context without understanding what's going on behind it, it would look bad.
Exhibit 2 would be the pills that you had turned in, I believe. Is that correct? That were in your bag, in your car?
Right.
I know you can't tell from looking at the bag.
I remembered it's Exhibit 2, though.
Okay. Wednesday, January 24th, one of the troopers located 4 medication bottles, and at some point on the 26th at about 2:30 in the afternoon, bottles were then documented by the police. When was it, if you know, that you turned these items in to the police?
I believe it was after the event. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember I told them I do have other prescriptions in my truck still, and I gave them to him.
Okay. So the police already went in with a search warrant. They already seized all the drugs that they could find in the house, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. Were there drugs in the kitchen, by the way?
Yeah.
They're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
ATS says, people have already been saying online and in comments, quote, she didn't even take the meds, so how could they be at fault, the doctors? Yes, see, and this is why I wanted to cover this case, but not look too much into it, because I did not want to have some type of preconceived notion about things. Context, especially in a case like this. Mental health is not straightforward. This is not like the last trial we all watched together, not Carly Craig, because obviously that had to do with mental health too, but more like Athena Strand, the Athena Strand murder trial. I will not say his name. That case was fairly straightforward, right? This is not that. Mental health is not straightforward. And so I think that's why I appreciate you guys in the chat. You have your opinions, right? But I feel like you guys' opinions aren't fixed. They're subject to change with more information. And I will say, when initially the question was asked about there being 30 pills dispensed and 27 are left, meaning she only took 3, it did paint a picture of her not taking her medication. So it did make me wonder, if she's not taking her medication, then how interested in getting help is she really? Then I thought maybe she didn't take these medications because most of these medications have the side effect of drowsiness. And when you're trying to keep up with 3 little ones and a household, you cannot be drowsy. So I'm glad that we're getting some context to all of these medications.
And they seized that, right?
Yeah.
And then you, to be cooperative, told the police that you also had pills in your car, and you went to the DA's office and gave them to Attorney Sprague and the state police, right?
Right. But to be clear, those were discontinued prescriptions.
These are the ones like that she stopped.
Correct.
All right. And then you had new prescriptions, so there were new prescriptions that were prescribed to her, right?
Yes.
Now, when I met with you in the house, long after the state police had gone and finished their search, you recall that we went up to the bedroom and I removed this from the nightstand right next to the bed.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that is? What is this? Is it a drawer, obviously?
That's the drawer that goes into the nightstand.
And inside the drawer, sir, do you recall that there were a number of items that I see? Trazodone, Lindsay Clancy, prescribed on January 5, 23. Creatinine, January. Creatinine, 100 milligrams, prescribed for Lindsay Clancy, December 21st. Lorazepam, they're all empty too, right?
Yeah.
Because these are what she shot down with that lemonade or water or whatever was in the cup that she ground up these pills, right? Lamotrigine, prescribed to Lindsay Clancy, December 16th of 22. Mirtazapine, prescribed to Lindsay Clancy, January 23. Those are in this drawer, and they were all empty, right?
Right.
You observed that, right? There's something else that was in the drawer. Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's her Apple Watch.
Her Apple Watch. This is the Apple Watch that apparently the police used to go up the stairs, downstairs, heart rate, things of that nature, right?
Yep.
They never even seized it, did they? They left it in the drawer, right?
Apparently.
So, what is this item, sir? If you can identify that for us.
It's a face mask for sleeping.
To sleep?
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned something, I think, about pillow spray. What is that?
She bought some pillow spray. It apparently helps you sleep.
Did you?
All right, just to give you context of how far behind we are in this trial, Neat forwarded me the list of potential witnesses from the Commonwealth. There are 168 total witnesses, okay? We have listened to 3 witnesses. We've only heard from the civilians, and they are Patrick Clancy, Susan, no, I lied. It's like Sarah Sweeney and Angela Krause. We've heard 3 witnesses out of the potential 200 witnesses. Just so you know, also, there are his parents, it looks like. Hold on, I have to cough, and I don't want to cough in your ear. His parents are on the Commonwealth's list of people. The couple that they, whose house they went to roast marshmallows and stuff, the Carneys, on the witness list. Yeah, it's a lot. This is 200 people. So I just want you guys, it's almost 200 people. The total is 168. We've heard from 3. And the number 3, which is really the first witness, we're still on. And these are civilian witnesses. There is a large number of witnesses from the various police departments, the Massachusetts State Police, which is, they're always a joy. Sorry, I might be tainted from Karen Reed. Then we have the various hospitals, doctors' offices, etc., that she was seen at. I mean, we need to listen to the prosecution and the defense. Y'all gonna have to limit these sidebars and breaks. This is not gonna work. We're gonna be here by the time the Nuggie graduates kindergarten, for the love of Pete, if we don't get this show on the road.
See her using that on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, she did.
Your Honor, I would offer Rob.
I could just see,
Yeah,
I think you.
and I think there's a watch on the side there. Oh.
No objection.
Okay. Do you want to put that in as one exhibit? Sure. Okay.
Now, in reference to the Apple Watch, sir, how many Apple Watches did she have? If you
Just
know?
one.
Just one. It's the only one she had. Police never seized it, right?
Correct.
And the drugs that were in the drawer, the empty drugs.
All right, so Faux Shiggles says, oh, that's not what Faux Shiggles said. Why is he not using gloves? Isn't that evidence? It is evidence, and yes, ideally, you probably want to use gloves, but here's the deal. These were not, that's not in dispute to whom they belong, and it's not in dispute who took the lives of these children. So it's not like they can really be swabbed, for anything. I mean, if they were going to be swabbed, they've been swabbed already. There isn't like another assailant out there that has yet to be brought to justice. Do you know what I mean? This is a different kind of case. And really, the majority of evidence that are on those, I guess, Apple Watches is what he's holding up, has already been extracted. So, I mean, yeah.
And the pill bottles from January, December, 22, 23.
Oh, yeah. No need to rewind.
No.
For Shiggles, it's not going to help you. They don't answer any questions. The testimony that they gave is not in dispute. Nobody's arguing that Patrick didn't go to the CVS. Nobody's arguing that she didn't call CVS and ask if they had this specific like stool softener for the children or the daughter. No, but it's not in dispute that he went to 3V and that she's the one that called in the actual order. None of that's in dispute, and that's really all they could say.
Little green vase. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh, and that when she did call, she wasn't a raving lunatic. There you go. She was coherent. She could answer questions. She asked questions, all the things. Pointless.
Yeah.
Can you tell the jury what it is?
Objection. We could go to sidebar.
Yeah, can I see counsel sidebar, please?
Oh, fine. Fantastic. Let's all go to sidebar. Maybe there's some wine at the sidebar at this point. I need a glass of Chardonnay and a charcuterie board. This is ridiculous. We're going to be here until the 12th of never at this rate. I mean, surely they're not going to call all 168 people. Surely not. I mean, I know that there was an argument, which we watched a little bit of, about the number of witnesses, particularly like first responders, etc. the defense was like, can we not pare these down? And the state said no, because if we pare these first responders down, we're not going to be able to talk about one of these children. So which one of these children is unimportant enough for us to just leave out? Which, I mean, there's no you when it's, I mean, I got to give it to the prosecution. She knows what she's doing. There's no real comeback for that. There's just absolutely there's no, like, you can make a comeback, but it ain't gonna be good. We need like a little, like some wine, maybe some, like a charcuterie board, maybe a fruit tray. I love a meat and cheese board. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-mm-mm. I mean, there's rational explanations, I think, for Shiggle says. Maybe she was looking up the restaurant distance to find one near CVS. Um, you know what? She might have had a craving for that place. There's a lot of times it's just me and my husband now. I don't have a family to cook for anymore. And a lot of times, especially like during the summertime, he works out in the heat. It's hot. And when it's hot, I don't want to heat up the kitchen. I don't feel like cooking, and my appetite is small. So there are times when he and I will, like, I'll say, well, will you pick something up on your way home? And then he'll tell me where he's at, because he drives around, and I'll say, okay, well, I'll look around where he's kind of at. You know what I mean? To see if there's anything where he is on the way home that sounds good, or we'll do DoorDash every once in a while. But, it is what it is. Like, the argument, I'm not prepared just based on what we've heard thus far. I need to hear from the mental health experts. I don't think that her looking up the restaurant and the CVS, I just don't think. Yeah, I think it can be viewed both ways. I think it certainly could be viewed as she was trying to see how much time she had. Absolutely. But it can also be viewed as if she's hearing voices. Those voices are internal. They're not real. They're coming from her brain. So if her brain can create voices, can't her brain also create a facade that it makes it appear as if she's normal? Everything's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? You can view it both ways. So I need to hear from the mental health experts. And also, I don't know.
Knowledge, sir, was she
Excuse me, Mr.
advised
Reddington.
by-
Excuse me. I was speaking. And also, I don't know which person just sighed into that mic like they did, but that I felt that sigh in my soul. We're all frustrated. Let's get this show on the road. Let's go.
nurse practitioner, tough to keep a nighttime dump diary of all of her thoughts and write them down so that she had something that she could refer to?
Not that I'm aware of.
You ever see her writing notes in a diary or like a thing with dates on it, November 23rd, for example, things of that nature?
I knew she kept notes, but I didn't see her doing it.
I'm going to show you this document. I asked, that appears to be her handwriting.
Yeah.
And does that contain indication as to her state of mind, particular date or dates thereafter?
Yeah.
Just take a look at the other pages just to make sure that you all understand, right?
Yeah.
You want to write it off of this?
Como?
Can I see it, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from the state police, so it's assume you guys have it.
No objection.
Okay, that may be admitted.
Jonah's mom, you are excused to be at church camp.
Show you another document, Sarah. It appears to be a document 29th, for example, 22?
Yes.
And does that appear to, can you tell us what that appears to be, sir, if you know?
Looks like a schedule for Callan.
And the schedule for Callan, that would be, what, like when he's eating or sleeping or something like that?
Yeah, and naps. Yeah.
So, for example, where it says September 29th, there it is, 22, and then it makes reference to Callan, last fed with a time frame, and then there's a bunch of pages like that that go forward on those dates. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Put him down for a nap, 9:35 with a smiley face, things like that, right?
Right.
No,
Is it
Tess.
typical for Lindsay that she would document these things as a new mother?
Yeah.
Was she being controlling, in your opinion, of her child and of you by doing this schedule?
No, I found it helpful.
For this, Your Honor, I don't think there's any.
Any objection? No objection. All right, that may be admitted.
One of the things, sir, that the district attorney had asked you about is the exhibits of the, I think it was the window in the bedroom. You said it was 20 feet drop to the ground.
Right.
Is that right? This is a photograph of the same one you already introduced, but I just don't know where it is. So this is the photograph of the house. You can identify that, right?
Yeah, that's the living room window.
Okay. And the window that you're talking about, that's 20 feet up, would be on the very top of that picture, correct?
Correct.
That's perfect, Jonah's mom. And I'll be sure and give Jonah a little shout out every day, but not like a hype shout out. I don't want him to be too Tartina. Just what a good boy he is.
Now, when you identified this picture, I can't see it. You see that there's some kind of an orange ball. Appears to be an orange ball underneath the sill.
Yeah.
Teacup, they collected everything, but this witness isn't really the witness that's going to come in through. We're just not sure exactly what they collected and where they collected it from specifically. It was just like general questions about it to this witness, just because he's not the one that collected them. Now, let me rewind this so that we can kind of hear what he's trying to ask. I think this one might be important.
You see that there's some kind of an orange ball. Appears to be an orange ball underneath the sill.
Yeah.
To the left. It appears to be red marks or red spots, like possibly blood above it.
Yep.
Can you tell the jurors what that little orange ball is?
Yeah, we had a woodpecker who would peck at the house and create holes. That's why I prepared some of the other sections too. And I took some foam and filled the hole.
I'd offer that, Your Honor, just continuity.
No objection.
All right, that may be admitted.
And I'd also, if I may, just the top picture, I believe is also, see where it looks like fingerprints or blood on the edge of the window on the second floor. You see that? That's from the house?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Attorney Reddy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm talking about the hornet thing right here. And then this is, I see on this top here. Okay, so you see on the top of this window here, it's not a very good picture. Underneath the hornet thing, you can see it, but in the exhibit, you can see there's like blood drops or blood smears there.
Yeah. I
That's
see
the
it.
first floor window that's directly underneath the second floor window, right?
Right.
Okay. I'd offer these, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No.
They may be admitted.
all set, thank you, sir.
Commonwealth, redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Clancy, you were shown an email, and it's been marked as an exhibit that you sent to coworkers on January 24th, 2023 at 5:24 p.m., correct?
Yeah.
And you were asked about it coming from the Surface Pro, but your testimony was that it could have come from your iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, you watched footage earlier of yourself going into the CVS in Kingston at 5:32 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you had your phone with you, correct, because you used it? And we also saw you on the 3V footage using your phone as well, correct?
Right.
So you were clearly out of the house at 5:24 p.m., correct?
Sorry, what time did you say I was at CVS?
So you walked in at 5:32 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you left the house. As you were leaving the house, Lindsay sent you the text about PDLX, correct?
I don't know if I had left the house yet, but yeah.
But that was sent at 5:15 p.m., correct?
Right.
And how far away is the Kingston CVS?
3 minutes.
Okay. And so you leave the house, you get into your car, and you drive to CVS, correct?
Correct.
And so that should have taken 3 minutes, correct?
Yep.
So after the text that was sent at 5:15 p.m., that would have been sometime around 5:18 or 5:20 p.m. that you should have arrived at CVS, correct?
Right.
But you don't go in until 5:32 p.m., correct?
I don't know.
We could
I don't know what time I pulled in the parking lot.
I'm not asking what time you pulled into the parking lot, but is it fair to say?
Why are you asking this at all? What is the fucking point? We need this.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
This is all I. By all of this. What in the actual F? Why do we care about this? Why? What difference does it make?
Say that the video that you were shown earlier shows you entering the store at 5:32 p.m.
Yes.
So from the time you should have been at the parking lot of CVS around 5:20 p.m. until 5:32 p.m., could you have been in your car sending this email on your iPhone?
Yeah, I just don't know if I pulled into the parking lot at 5:20.
But sometime after the text was sent from Lindsay about PDLX, but before 5:32 p.m., you were in your car.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
I mean, what?
you were asked
Hold on.
about-
I need a moment. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I do not understand. Maybe I'll understand the point later, but I don't understand the point right now. And now I'm irritated. I find this to be incredibly pedantic. What are you trying to establish? What do you think you had some kind of fucking Matlock moment here just a second ago? You really got him good with that one? Like, what is this? Move on, lady. Shit.
my questions to you about going to Boston, and my questions to you were about December 3rd, not December 2nd, correct?
Correct.
Because your anniversary is December 3rd, not December 2nd, correct?
Right.
So Dawson was taken to the doctors on December 2nd, correct?
Correct.
And on December 3rd, did you have plans? Not that they were followed through, but did you have plans to go to Boston that day?
Yeah, so I can provide some clarification on that.
Sure.
So yeah, on Monday I was a little bit confused by it because we were home. But yeah, I think there was a plan prior to that, like an anniversary plan to go to Boston, but it was canceled.
Okay.
And the picture you showed was from September.
So the plans that you had to go to Boston, showing you here. Some text messages between yourself and Lindsay. And here, there's one here that says, the spa, the Omni is booked, but you're on the wait list. As a backup, I have you booked for massage at the nearby IHG for 90 minutes at 1:45. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you later say we can get lunch and then head over. She responds, okay. And then you write that they'll let you use the gym and the pool while she's getting her massage. Is that correct?
Right.
And then you talk about plans for lunch and dinner. And so there were the plans, they just fell through, right?
Yeah, we canceled them, yeah.
So it's not as if I made that up out of thin air. That's here in the text messages, correct?
Right, yeah. It was just confusing because we were home. But yeah, when I left, I recollected that, and then I found the picture, and the picture was from September.
Well, damn. It's not as if I made that up out of thin air, is it? I mean, no. But, you know, you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's, lady, and you got the picture wrong. So, I mean, it is what it is. It ain't a good look. Before Shiggle says, does the defense get to recross after this? God, I hope not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on the judge. Judge Bev was like, you're done. That's it. No more. You should have asked it on cross-examination. If you didn't ask it on cross-examination, too bad, so sad.
And was that from the wedding you went to?
Yeah.
If we could have the text messages marked as the next exhibit.
Any objection? All right, that may be admitted.
87. Now, in cross-examination, you said that Lindsay always took the medications exactly as instructed. But in direct, you said you weren't always with her every time she took the pills. Is that correct?
That's correct, but the understanding was that she took it as directed.
Because she told you she did?
Yeah.
And because you trusted her to do so?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can't sit here and say definitively that she took every pill exactly as instructed every single time because you didn't watch her every time, correct?
I was not standing next to her every time she took pills.
And you were asked about the Facebook search in August 23rd, 2022. And you were asked about being on the Surface Pro and looking up the country singer who had killed himself. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So I think that what you said when you were asked by defense counsel about whether or not you accidentally went to this site on methods of suicide, you said that could be likely, that might have happened. You're not sure, correct?
It's so subtle that I don't remember specifically, but I do remember listening to Tom T. Hall.
Okay. How often did you listen to him?
It was like for a week.
Okay. And so were you aware that on 8/23, August 23rd, 2022, at 9:40 a.m., someone signed into Lindsay's Facebook account on the Surface Pro?
No.
And then at 9:43 p.m. is when the Tom Hall site was accessed. Do you recall that?
No.
And at 9:45 a.m. is when a person not just hit a link by accident, but actually had to click on a link to go to suicide methods. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason why you would have been going in and logging on to Lindsay's Facebook account while going on Wikipedia and looking at suicide methods all in that same 5 minutes?
I didn't log into Lindsay's Facebook ever. It's very possible that I looked at Tom Hall's Wikipedia page, but...
At some point?
Yeah.
Do you remember spending 3 minutes on the Methods of Suicide site, scrolling through and reading the Methods of Suicide site for 3 minutes?
No, I don't remember something I did for 3 minutes almost 4 years ago.
Do you remember being on that site, the Methods of Suicide, and clicking on a link to a bridge in Australia that people use to commit suicide?
No.
No. So in this 5 minutes or so where someone's using the Surface Pro, using Lindsay's Facebook while doing that, and then clicking on these links you don't remember, you think it might have been you?
I have no idea.
Okay. Now, you talked about Lindsay's stay at McLean Hospital. You said that that it was a locked ward, she had to stay there, is that correct?
Correct.
But it was a voluntary commitment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You didn't file any legal paperwork to have her committed, correct?
Correct.
There was no court order making her stay there, correct?
Correct.
So if she wanted to leave and expressed to the doctors that she wanted to leave, and they didn't believe she was a danger to herself or others, she could leave, correct?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay. Now, you stated on direct examination that you visited her 2 times during the time that she was there at McLean, right?
At least twice, yeah.
And you said those were in the evening hours, is that correct?
Yeah, afternoon, evening.
Afternoon and evening. So you weren't there during the morning and early afternoon hours when they were offering these group therapies and when she was meeting with other practitioners?
I wasn't there in the morning.
And were you there during the, when the staff was checking on her every 15 minutes?
No, but she did tell me about that.
Okay. And were you aware that she was evaluated several times and at first she had to stay on the unit, but then eventually based on what she was telling them, she was allowed to go on the grounds with staff?
I was aware that she went on at least one walk.
Okay. And so people were seeing her and interacting with her and changing the way her stay went at McLean Hospital throughout her stay.
Yeah.
And you talked about Dr. Goodhart recommending medications. What was the medication that you said that she recommended?
I thought it was Cymbalta, but I think she ended up taking amitriptyline.
So, looking here at the CVS records that you provided, we see, I'm sorry, here we go. So we see here, here we go. Aaliyah Goodhart, second from the bottom,
Yep.
trazodone, 50 milligrams. So you thought that Dr. Goodhart had just recommended medication when there was actually a prescription that was given by Dr. Goodhart, correct?
Right, but I believe, so there's another one as well, lorazepam. I
Yes.
believe those were prescribed while she was staying there.
And so they were filled at CVS and sent to McLean?
Possibly. I remember there was an issue where she didn't have her medications when she went to McLean, so she needed them to be brought there.
She was discharged on January 5th, correct?
Right.
Are you aware that this document from CVS says that the prescription for trazodone 50 milligrams prescribed by Dr. Aaliyah Goodhart was filled on January 5th, 2023?
Right.
Okay. And then the other prescription by Dr. Goodhart, the lorazepam, was also 1 milligram lorazepam, was also filled on January 5th, 2023, correct?
Yeah.
So that's when she was discharged, not while she was staying there, correct?
Right, that's correct.
So Dr. Goodhart did in fact prescribe medication for Lindsay, trazodone and Ativan, and not Cymbalta, correct?
She recommended Cymbalta, but she wasn't the one who prescribed that.
And in fact, no one prescribed that, correct?
Because it ended up switching to amitriptyline.
And the amitriptyline was prescribed by Dr. Jennifer Tuss, correct?
Right.
And Dr. Tufts prescribed 5 milligrams of diazepam on January 9th, 2023, correct?
Right.
And amitriptyline on January 16th. It was 10 milligrams of amitriptyline. And that was prescribed when Lindsay said she was having some issues with depression, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So she went to McLean Hospital and she was weaned off the Seroquel, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
And all the medications that she had taken prior to going to McLean, she was no longer on, those were gone, correct? Once she'd been in McLean.
I don't know if it was, I'm not sure. I don't know if it was all of them.
Well, did you have conversations with your wife about what she was taking I mean, were you aware that she was only on only prescribed trazodone and Ativan when she left McLean, and then amitriptyline was only added on the 16th? So just those 3 medications?
Yeah, but I thought she was taking trazodone before McLean.
Right, so she had been prescribed it before and stopped taking it, correct?
I don't remember. I'd have to look back on records.
So you're not sure about what she was taking and when, are you?
Not the exact dates, but I remember she was taking trazodone, and I thought she was taking it before McLean.
So the best resource of what she was prescribed and when would most likely be the doctors and the CVS records then, correct?
The CVS records is a good resource.
And
Yes, you're right. The CVS receipts and the doctor's notes and records would be an excellent source, except for you asked him these questions on direct, which is what necessitated Mr. Reddington to clarify some things on cross-examination. So if you're getting huffy with anyone, you really ought to be getting huffy with yourself. You're the one that opened up this door to the medications in the first place.
you talked about the pills and how these were pills that she was no longer on. So it wasn't really a good representation of what she had taken, correct?
Correct.
But she was only prescribed Zoloft once, right? At the very beginning?
Right.
And she only took 7 of those pills, correct?
Right.
So it wasn't as if she was prescribed a higher dose or a different dose of Zoloft and was still taking that, and so that 7 pills misrepresents the Zoloft she took, right?
I believe she switched because, or she stopped because she was switched to Prozac.
Okay. And then even going forward, the Prozac, there weren't many pills taken out of that either, correct?
Yeah, eventually she stopped that as well.
Okay. So she'd take a few pills, she'd have some side effects, they'd switch the medication, correct?
Yes.
And so they were trying to figure out what would work for her, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she ends up at McLean because she's having difficulties, according to her, with the Seroquel, correct?
That was part of it, yeah.
And they wean her off of that, right?
Yep.
And then after McLean, she's only on the trazodone, the Ativan, and then on the 16th, adding in the amitriptyline, correct?
Right.
You mentioned that you went to New York in November of 2022. Defense counsel said that was a month before the children were killed, but that's actually 2 months before they were killed, correct?
It was, yeah, it was about a little more than 2 months.
And she hadn't been on the Seroquel yet, right?
I don't know exactly when she started the Seroquel.
Would December sound right?
Yeah, or end of November, yeah.
And so when you took your trip to New York, she was having some issues, but she was doing okay, wasn't she?
She was doing much better than she was in December.
Okay. And did you also take another trip with Cora in November?
Yeah, so I did the trip to New York, and as soon as I got back, went to bed, and then the next morning left with Cora.
And was that November 4th through the 7th to San Francisco?
Yeah.
And who was taking care of Dawson and Callan while you were in San Francisco with Cora?
Lindsay.
And so during your trip to New York, and then immediately after your trip to San Francisco with Cora, were there any issues or any problems, or did anything happen while Lindsay was caring for those kids?
Nothing bad happened. She was, I would say her anxiety and depression was starting to tick up, but yeah, obviously nothing bad happened.
Okay.
Lisa says, why does this lady sound so rude to me? Well, Lisa, it's because you're used to my smooth, genteel, southern charm way of talking. That's why she sounds rude. Y'all have been spoiled by me. Just kidding. Can you imagine if I was like that, though? I'm rude as hell. You hear me go off on people all the time.
And it's your testimony that things started to get worse in December. Is that correct?
Correct.
But it was also your testimony that after the stay at McLean, things got better, wasn't it? And she steadily progressed throughout January, getting better, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And on January 24th, 2023, you testified that that was one of her best days.
Yeah.
You were asked about the Apple Watch. The police didn't collect the Apple Watch, right? They did collect her phone, correct? You identified it earlier, right?
Correct, yeah.
And her Apple Watch was linked to her phone, was it not?
It probably was, yeah.
You were also asked about the drop from the second floor window. Were you aware that the measurement from the windowsill to the ground was actually 12 feet?
I've never measured it, but yeah, I believe what you're saying.
And
Listen, lady, I don't appreciate your tone, your snark, or your delivery. This is, first and foremost, this is your witness. And his personal stance, I mean, he is the victim in this situation. The ultimate victims, of course, are the children. But he is a victim in this situation. And you chose to put him on the stand. I don't know why you're getting all huffy and puffy with him in the first place. We're talking about mental illness. All right? We're not talking about pancreatitis, which it has a way to be diagnosed and then a treatment. We're not talking about strep throat, where the difference is typically people are given a prescription from some of an antibiotic from the penicillin family, but not everybody can take penicillin. I mean, you're acting like mental health is a straight line, that there's symptoms that you tell a doctor about, and the doctor says, oh, okay, you have this. You need to take this. Mental health doesn't work like that. Stop it. You're coming across as an asshole.
looking for one of the exhibits from Defense Counsel. It's the, yes. Exhibit 84.
I would just like for the record to reflect that I don't have an Apple Watch, but I do have an iPhone and I have an iPad. But they are linked, except for the texts, because it was irritating me after this last update on the iPad. There's no way to close an individual text thread when you're done reading it. So it always looks like you're reading people's messages that you aren't even reading. And you're not even getting notified because it looks from the iPad, it looks like you have the text thread open, so you are reading it, but you're actually not. So I unlinked that shit. So just for the record, if anything ever happens and my shit has to be, extracted, they're going to have to extract both. That's all.
This was the packet here that Defense Counsel was going through with you, where you said this is Lindsay writing Kellen's schedule. Is that right?
Right.
But this was also Lindsay sending notes back and forth between herself and Elaine. Is that correct?
Possibly.
There's different writing here, correct? You want to look at it?
I mean, why don't you bring it over to him? You're standing at him and asking if shit's the same from across the goddamn room.
We have writing here that you said was Lindsay's, correct?
It looks like it, yeah.
And then down here, there's a note that's in different handwriting, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So were you aware that Lindsay was using this notebook to communicate back and forth with the nanny about Callan's care?
She had different notebooks. She always had a notebook that she would leave for the babysitter, or for me.
And so, for example, on Tuesday, September 4th, she wrote, last fed at 6 a.m., give him a bottle whenever he wakes up. He likes it very warm. He's been resisting the bottle. If he won't drink it, after 45 minutes of trying, please text me to let me know. Put down for next nap 1 hour after he wakes. Try to put down drowsy but awake. But if he cries, pick him up and rock, bounce, or hold him until sleep, then put down. He usually sleeps 45 minutes, but let him sleep as long as he wants. These are very detailed notes that Lindsay is sending to the nanny, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking as a person who has had her own children and has also taken care of other people's children, those types of notes would be extremely helpful. I love that she listed all the if, then, but clauses. Letting a caregiver know what works and doesn't work for a child it's one thing to stand there in the morning time or whenever you're going to about to leave and you give this rundown of things to the caregiver, right? But it's not like it's not as effective as writing it down, number one. And that way, when if something comes up, the caregiver has a note to reference that, look, if this doesn't work, try this. Because when you have a child who's fussy, who's crying, who's unhappy, and all you want to do is make them happy, it's so much easier to look at a note than it would be to try to remember, flip through all of the tabs that you have open in your brain to try to remember that information. So I don't know what you're trying to imply here, ma'am, but I think anybody in their right mind would not say that this is controlling. This is detailed. If you want to see controlling, go look at some old footage of John and Kate +8. Watch Kate in action. Then you'll see controlling.
And then she also wrote, if you have time, wash and cut up veggies, sweet potatoes, 1-inch cubes peeled, broccoli, small pieces, peppers, 1-inch pieces, plastic Ziploc bags to put them in. Next bottle 2.5 hours after the first bottle, correct?
I believe what you're reading, yeah.
So very particular about what she wanted the nanny to do, how she wanted her to do it, and when to feed Callan, when to put him down for a nap, all of those things. Very particular, correct?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Sounds to me like she knew what worked. And isn't it better when you're dealing with children if you do what you know works rather than try to go down the list of things that it could possibly be? Wouldn't it be just simpler and easier and better for the child if you do what works for that child? What the fuck, lady? Look at you. It's 3:41 on a dadgum Wednesday afternoon. You got me throwing down F-bombs left and right.
Again, Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Callan last fed at 8:45. Please put him down for a nap at 9:35. We will be home from gymnastics at 11:45. Clean clothes and dryer if you get to it. So again, very specific times for putting him down and when to get up and asking her to do additional work like laundry and things like that, correct?
Yeah.
Again, October 6th, 8 at 8:15, fell asleep at 8:40. Changing tables now in the bathroom. If he wakes before 9:40, give him 15 minutes to settle himself back to sleep. I'm hoping he will sleep till 10:15. If he is still asleep at 10:40, wake him. Feeding at 11 a.m. First try bottle. If he doesn't take it after 15 minutes, make oatmeal. 2 tablespoons of oatmeal. Make thin with breast milk. Can heat for 5 to 10 seconds. Again, very specific directions on what she wants done and how she wants Callan cared for, correct?
Yeah.
And throughout this notebook, it's more of the same, correct? Or have you even seen that?
I haven't seen it, yeah.
Maybe the nanny asked her for those types of directions. Everybody has a different style of how they work best. I am a visual learner. If you show me, I'll remember. That's how I learn best. Okay. But when it comes to children, writing it down is very helpful, especially when you have a fussy child, because your brain gets scrambled when the crying happens.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Thank God.
Which was that?
That would have been Elaine Rossi.
And Elaine Rossi, how long was she the nanny for you guys?
A month or two, yeah, probably 2 months.
And then she just needed more hours and moved on, and Lindsay was home, so.
I think she preferred more hours. We couldn't really give it to her, and Lindsay was home anyways, so.
Okay. And as far as the records are concerned, it's fair to say that Lindsay, as a concerned mother, would give instructions to people that would be taking care of her infant?
Yeah, I would have done the same.
A lot of discussion about these prescriptions and scripts from the different doctors, and one of the things you referenced was that you believe that she was on trazodone, and if I suggest to you that there was a Dr. Izad Harayarara Kavon on November 16th of 22 that prescribed 50 milligrams of
What?
trazodone.
Is he even speaking English over there? All I heard, it sounded like somebody started up the dadgum garbage disposal in the kitchen. Rah, rah, rah. What the fuck? What did he say? Could you speak into the microphone? You got the witnesses have been told to speak in the microphone repeatedly. Could you get the attorneys to do the same? Or hell, if they cannot be trusted to use the mic at the podium, could you freaking slap a microphone on their lapels, please? I don't know who's running the pool feed, but whoever it is, do that thing that y'all do where you get the little microphone booster thingy. You know what I'm talking about. Do that. We need that ASAP.
She was on buspirone and fluoxetine. Does that refresh your memory that in November she was prescribed 50 grams of trazodone?
Yeah, I remember trazodone being like a part of the medication plan for a while.
And one of the things that you did, as we talked about, is you went to CVS and you got a list of all the drugs, right?
Right.
And if I suggest to you, sir, that this is just a
Not a boom mic, Scott. The little discreet one, you know, it has that like plastic cone thing around it, you know. It doesn't have to be big, just something a little bit bigger, because this is not working for any of us. And I wonder sometimes if the witness can even hear. I mean, bless his heart, but Reddington's a little bit of a mumbler. Oh, gosh.
an easy reference with different colors for different doctors of exactly what the CVS provided. Does that appear to be fair and accurate of the scripts that were
Yeah.
provided?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A parabolic mic. That's what I mean. Hell, get him one of them dadgum mics from the TikTok shop. Y'all see Chasing like a couple of days ago when she was on her porch with the little tickety talk mic? It's a little teeny tiny thing. That's all we need. I ain't asking for miracles here. I'm not asking for a full scale theater production or movie set operation with, you know, boom mics and all the things. No, but for the love of Pete, just so we can understand what in the hell is going on.
Can I see which one that is, please? No objection.
Okay, that may be admitted.
That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down. Thank you.
The judge is
Counsel,
going to
can I
let
see you?
everybody go. He's done. The judge is like, that's it. That's all. I'm tired of the bullshit. We're going to be done for the day. Watch what I tell you. Let's just skip through this. Just for the record, you all see how this is a minute.
I know it's been a long day for everyone, so we're going to excuse you till tomorrow morning. The hope is to start about 9.
About now.
And kind of the same thing. We'll go to hopefully about 11, take a break at 11. We'll have a break from 1 to 2, and we'll go into the afternoon around 3 or 4.
Around 3 or 4.
That's the thing. Remember, I'm going to ask you those questions about not talking about the case, not doing any research about it, don't watch anything about it. You have to keep an open mind. At this point, you've heard some evidence, but you haven't heard all the evidence. You haven't heard the law that you are to apply to the evidence. So you've got to, at this point, you've got to keep.
I don't even like White Claws,
so I'm going to
Lulu, but Lola, but I'm ready for a freaking White Claw.
Morning, if I forget to tell you,
See you tomorrow,
tomorrow,
Coffee and
Friday, we're
Skeletons.
still on schedule.
Oh,
to take
Jesus.
That view.
Now we're hitting
the
mics.
schedule before you come in tomorrow. That's as best I can tell you. That's the schedule for tomorrow. So again, thank you so much for all your work on this case so far. I hope you have a nice evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
For the we look. This is already a mess. Okay, let's just sum up today. All right, let's just sum up today. All right. First, the Commonwealth isn't prepared. I don't know where Mr. Clancy had to go. Because he did say something to the judge, and then he saw them at sidebar, and then there was the whole "you're dismissed" until We call you back this afternoon for cross-examination. Then the Commonwealth wasn't, they called 2 witnesses and then they had no other witness to call, which I don't understand how they couldn't have known that, because if he was telling the judge and the judge seemed to be like, oh yeah, that's right, then how come the Commonwealth didn't know? Okay, that was today. Then we just, there was a 2-hour break. Then they come back. We're on cross-examination. Mr. Reddington doesn't want to use a mic. He's limited to the questions that he asks on cross-examination by what is asked on direct. So then we have redirect, and she gets snarky with her witness about medication questions when she's the one who opened the door in the first place. Now she's got me yelling. When she's opened the door to the first place by asking the medication directions or questions on direct. Then, for some unknown reason, although the prosecutor had been using the mic before, suddenly she decides not to use the mic. Mr. Reddington is a mumbler and never uses the mic, and now the judge is hitting the mic. And we're going to be here around 9 tomorrow. We're going to take our lunch at this time, and then we'll be back around this time. We're going to go to like maybe 3 or 4. Let me look, Tess. Let me look. Let me look for you. Let me look. I know I saw her have a live on Real Talk with Alex, but I don't see a live. Oh, let me see. I don't see a live scheduled. No. She doesn't have a live on Alex Erickson, but she does have a live at 8 o'clock my time, Central, on Real Talk with Alex. So, yeah, neat. No wonder this case is scheduled for a decade. Shit. Lulu Lola said, thanks for covering this, Jen. I wanted to get a book and a trial in this summer. Read Salem's Lot, and now here. Salem's Lot is a good book. But most of the time I find the book is better than the movie. There's just some parts they just can't translate, and I feel like it never lives up to my expectation, I guess is the best way to put it. Like in Harry Potter, the scene in the Whomping Willow, never. It's done very well. It's just it isn't what I pictured in my brain when I was reading them. So it never, it is what it is. For Shiggles says, any word on when Letitia's new trial is? I'll tell you, let's look up Letitia Stout. Let's look her up real quick. Haven't looked her up in a couple of days. Let's look her up. Let's see. There's an article here. This article is from July 15th, and it reads as follows. An appeal has been filed with the Colorado Supreme Court in the murder case against Letitia Stout. The Colorado Department of Law confirmed it filed an appeal with the Supreme Court on June 29th and is waiting to hear if the court will review the case. Stout's conviction was overturned in April of this year by the Colorado Court of Appeals. According to court records, Stout appealed her conviction after arguing in part that the trial court made an error by denying her a challenge to a juror whose son-in-law worked in the same office that was prosecuting the case. Stout remains in custody at the Colorado Department of Corrections at the Denver Women's Correctional Facility and would remain there for the time being, according to the CDOC in April. So nothing nothing new other than now the state, and they just filed it June 29th. So it's been a month. And they haven't heard back yet from the appellate court to see if they will hear the state's case. So no word yet. But that's all there is for today. I will see all of you lovely people back here bright and early. Remember, we're going to start our coverage at 9 Central, which is 10 Eastern, because as we learned today, that even when we start late, we actually don't miss anything. We actually start right on time. So there you have it. All right, you guys, have a fantastic rest of your evening. I'm going to go over later on tonight and check out Allie's channel, Real Talk with Alex, on she's got a live at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So I'll go hang out over there. And in the meantime, y'all behave and see y'all tomorrow. All right. Have a great rest of your night. Take care. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.